Hey guys, I'm Boot. We're in New Jersey, and today we are going to discourage and dispel the 600-pound lies that have been told all over television and the internets and all the other places where you find them and where you find pitchfork carrying trolls. So, anyways, we're going to go ahead behind the scenes of a very well known television show that we won't mention the name of. But while we do that, we're going to go ahead and be joined by our good buddy Kyle from Connecticut from On the Brain. And Kyle, tell them where else they can find you.
You can find me at On the Brain ENT at all your podcast platforms. You can also find me talking a little bit about mental health as well as my living with cerebral palsy on A for Abled on all platforms. And I am also a contributor and co-host of the Who They Want Entertainment LLC platform, where we talk about anything and everything. And once again, I'm glad to be here to support my Jersey family.
Thank you very much, Kyle. And with us as well, my wife, Allie, and the sister of Gina, as I like to say. Why don't you tell them where they can find you, babe?
I'm Allie, and you can find me at AllieS on YouTube and Allie_Sams on TikTok.
Alrighty. So today we are kind of gonna just jump right into it.
And this is also without commercials, so the timestamp might be different for you.
Alrighty. So, who wants to start off?
Well, I have notes.
Okay.
A very consistent theme clearly is, again, Gina's mental health not being addressed at all. That is the biggest thing that when she said that, you know, they push each other's buttons and they know exactly what to say to each other to incite a reaction from each other that's negative. She was speaking from the truth. That was a dynamic of theirs, but that wasn't related to Beth giving her food or weight or anything. It could have been anything. It could have been a family situation. It could have been a game. It could have been whatever this, it didn't just revolve around food. And so you don't see whatever led up to that clip of Gina saying that. Right. Okay, you kind of just see Gina in one little snippet of authentically being honest about her and Beth's relationship, and it taken completely out of context and made about, again, that Beth is the slave. Beth caters to Gina and to everyone, works, does the cleaning, makes the food, all these things that, I'm sorry, again, I do love you, Beth, but are just simply false. And did Beth do a lot for Gina? Yes, we've said this multiple times.
Right.
But Gina also did for Beth.
Right.
Gina did.
And nobody's saying that Beth shouldn't have had, you know, some time to herself, you know, at the end of the day or whatever, you know. And at the same time, they were not addressing real, like, issues of hers. And this appointment was the first and the only appointment she had.
I'm also sorry, but, like, if you're a therapist and you're giving a session to a married couple that does have a toxic relationship, that does have issues, that each had their own mental health that was untreated, and together, two non-stable people with untreated mental health together, it's going to just continue to clash, which was, in my opinion, the biggest rift between my sister and Beth. And, you know, that is something that takes a lot of hard work and stuff to do. And, you know, I'm not pointing a finger at each one or the other. They both contributed to a toxic marriage. But again, it had nothing to do with size. It had nothing to do with weight. It had to do with two people who had untreated mental health issues that thought they can do it on their own, that couldn't. And together, they were just enabling each other. And Gina saying that the doctor thinks that they enable each other, that was said on the episode. But again, nobody was taking that response. Everybody was just pissed off at my sister, pissed off at my mom and me and Keith, and just telling Beth she deserved better, but not looking at Gina, who was trying to be her authentic self, and everything she was saying was getting twisted to fit a narrative she knew nothing about.
Right.
And Beth having a day, a staycation, if you will, is totally okay. But why couldn't Gina be told to have a day too, just for Gina? Why was it worded a day where you don't have any help?
Right.
Because Gina was not incapable of helping herself.
Right.
Again, that word of being immobile was overused and misused in Gina's situation, because she wasn't immobile.
Right. She could
Leaving
take care of
the
herself.
house, not being able to leave your home due to being agoraphobic is not considered immobile. Okay? Immobile means not moving.
Right.
And she was that at the end. Okay? And none of y'all saw that. But, that's just the thing. Like, that's what irks me with this therapist thing. It's just very, again, centered around a narrative that would just simply, one sentence was true.
Right.
And Beth nodding in agreement means that Beth understood that Gina was saying that they pushed each other's buttons.
Right.
But then for Beth to say that she comes home and she cooks and she cleans and takes care of everything, it's frustrating for me, because living with the both of them and seeing it firsthand, Keith and I know that that's just simply not the case.
Yeah. Kyle, what did you think about that?
I gotta agree with Allie on this. We've already, while analyzing this episode, have already seen how they've been setting up this narrative, right? And we've seen how they've basically had this whole story very one-sided.
Right, of course.
And Gina's mental health is not taken into account at all, because this is focused mainly on the outside. That's all it's been. It's been just focused on the outside, not how, not her other diagnoses, not what she had to deal with mentally, not the stuff that she's been through up until this point mentally. They've only been focusing on her weight and food. I mean, come on. We've talked about this time and time again. Gina had issues eating.
Yeah.
So when you have issues eating, but yet you look like someone that doesn't look like they have, those kind of issues, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It gets very, the overall message that we're trying to convey versus what they were giving you is exactly that. It's just, it's entertainment. That's all it is. It's fitting what they wanted. And honestly, while I'm sitting here looking at the, looking and listening to the doctor that's giving them advice, I can't help but wonder, now that I know what I know, if they were feeding her lines.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Like she's a medical professional, and as someone who, we've all been in therapy. Okay, no shame in it. Absolutely no shame in it. I'm in therapy right now. I love it. My doctor's awesome.
Yeah.
But not
same here.
right? Not every doctor or every style of treatment is for everyone. And what this person was doing, basically, we didn't see the whole conversation. We only saw tidbits.
Right.
So, and also as editors, we know we can make that look like and sound like however we want.
Yeah.
So, I'm not fooled, and I'm not going to blame the doctor. I'm not going to blame the doctor for it. I'm going to blame the producers and the writers of this show. A reality show with a writer. That's crazy. But
yeah, really.
Because there's a script. That they're writing her narration. They're not asking her opinion on anything. And this is the story they're sticking with. Yep. So, yeah. I feel like if I say any more, I'd be repeating myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I feel like the biggest thing too is if you're a therapist and you're telling somebody to just stop pushing each other's buttons, but you're not giving them the tools to do so.
Right.
How can you sit there and call yourself an effective therapist if your way to effectively have them stop doing it is for Beth to take her own day and Gina to have a day without help? You're not getting the root of their issues and working them through that and giving them coping mechanisms and teaching them how to get through it and communicate, because they came in originally both stating that they were there for communication with each other, and it turned into a totally different thing other than communication.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I play a little bit of devil's advocate though.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we know for sure that because they're filming pretty much all the time.
Oh yeah.
And once you get into a conversation and they feel like they missed something, they'll ask you to repeat it, and they'll ask you to repeat it from wherever they thought they missed. You know what I'm saying? For all we know, they could have had a full session where they did have, where they were given tools to, to help each other out and to help out the situation. But for time restraints, it was cut out.
Yeah.
No, and I do actually think they did have a session. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you're going to show on a TV show two people about somebody's story and you're showing a therapy session, you show absolutely nothing that is effective for their mental health. So what is the point of putting that in if you, as somebody who's teaching and on a learning network, how are you not putting anything worth teaching, showing anything teaching, like a teaching moment?
Because this is all about entertainment. You think
right, exactly. So you can't also call yourself then a health show or an educational program or anything like that, because you are in fact not being educational at all. You're just
doing it for views.
Right. And you're not even like, it's not worth it. Like, I really hope that people that are interested in having weight loss surgery are not watching this show in hopes of getting sound medical advice or what to do and think it's the right way to go about things, because this show does the complete opposite of what you're supposed to do.
I recently discovered something that I didn't know before that probably can explain a lot about what's going on here. Mm-hmm. But so the channel we're watching is owned by Discovery, right? And
they are, really?
Yeah.
I thought Nat Geo and Discovery were hand in hand.
Nat Geo is actually owned by Disney.
Now it is, right?
Yeah.
Though?
Because then we weren't allowed to be on any shows that were Nat Geo.
Right.
So, because they told us that right off.
I remember reading that in her contract.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that too. And after watching something the other day, somebody had done a video essay about a couple series of documentaries that they did, which turned out that they had nuggets of truth in them, but the rest of it was false and fabricated, right?
Oh yeah.
And guess what channel that was on?
Same one,
sure.
Huh? Oh, really?
Yeah. That's how I realized that they own the network we're watching and a few others. So, and also this is a documentary, and it's sad, but as someone who loves to watch documentaries, I also know that not every documentary has to be truthful. There's no rule in there that says that everything has to be absolute fact.
Right.
So as far as I know, there is nothing legally that they're doing wrong.
Right.
However, when you put morals in it, like, hold on a second, why are we basically doing this to a person that does not deserve it? Ethically,
it's wrong.
Ethically,
not just morally, but ethically, it's wrong.
It's wrong. I shouldn't even say, because morals, everybody's got different morals. Ethically, This is wrong.
Right.
100%.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too, is they're exploiting people.
Yes.
They didn't just exploit my family, my sister.
This is
I'm sure there's other people that feel the same, that they were exploited by this same show.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, that's awful. But I think, again, it does more harm than good if you are a health and wellness type of a reality show that put in front of millions of people with a very reputable surgeon, very reputable, and then put things out where are completely wrong medical advice or fabricated numbers,
right,
or not giving the full scenario to the story.
So first off, that was not the 4th month. That was literally days between the therapist meeting and the, getting the bed. Then saying, that she lost, or that she gained 3 pounds, right? If she was 6'14", right, and she lost 3 pounds, she'd be 6'11". I thought she was 6'09" or 6'08" when they first weighed her.
It's, to me, that this is the issue with fabricating numbers.
Right.
Trying to keep the continuity straight.
Keep the continuity, and it's extremely confusing.
Yeah.
My note that I have written down is, first of all, the months are bullshit.
Yeah.
They're bullshit.
No, it's just days.
Nobody can lose 50 pounds in a couple of days.
Right.
Nobody can even lose, it's hard to even lose 50 pounds in 2 months if you struggle with losing weight.
Right, of course.
To lose that much of a number in 2 months is really difficult, let alone she had all of these appointments were just days and days apart.
Mm-hmm.
This was in December. They were trying to rush to get as much filming so they could wrap before Christmas.
Right.
This scene proves exploitation. He's standing there telling her, see you in 2 months, when he knows he's going to see her in 2 days.
Right. Now, the other thing about that too was, have you been going to therapy? Yeah, they went to one appointment 2 days before this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or the day before this. It's such a rushed load of BS. She never again saw that therapist, because the first one is free after they make you lose your insurance. And then after that, you got to pay out of pocket.
Yeah, because nothing is covered.
Right.
And, again, Gina had said multiple times that off camera, the doctor was very apologetic to her, because I think he knew that this is a ridiculous timeline, and the fact that her episode was pushed so quickly does make me think that it was a filler episode for them, and they needed to get it out. The problem I have too is that they were telling her this entire time that she was their favorite, and they loved her so much, and they were giving her all this
praise,
positivity and
building her up
off camera.
Right.
And then when the doctor's on camera, he completely says something totally different to fit the narrative of a story that's not
true at all.
I can't believe that people that watch this, because I've watched this show before, watched this episode and didn't question in their head, wow, something seems really off about this episode. Did you ever think it was the production that made it off, not the person they were filming?
Mm-hmm.
But no, let's attack the cast member. Let's attack the families, because yes, they are terrible people.
Kyle, what did you think about that section?
I find it very interesting that, number one, they pushed her episode so early, because if you go back to, I forgot what season this is, but
8.
she's the thumbnail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's season 8.
If you go searching for it on like their website or go searching for it via via like digital sources, she is the main thumbnail for the season.
Yeah, it's season
So
8.
they saw that they had something in her. They saw that they had something in her. Let's not forget that she was discovered by them via her YouTube library.
Right.
So
Exactly.
they saw something in her, but they didn't use none of the stuff that they discovered when they found her. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was never mentioned that she was actually helping helping other people when it comes to mental health and how she was losing weight and what she was doing with you guys to improve her mental well-being. All that stuff was just swept under the rug.
Right.
So it never mentioned, not once. Now, I also, as far as like people that are watching this, they like fans of this show. Some have probably been watching it for a long time. This show has been on for a while. So if they're not gonna start questioning it back then and questioning it now and not questioning it now, that doesn't surprise me. You know what I'm saying? And this is almost 3 years later at this point.
Yeah.
So the idea that we've talked about this before. The amount of people that have come forth and tried to sue them, the people that they've lost, like the people that are no longer here, not because of not because of like of anything having to do with the show as we saw, but it was like it left him so distraught. I know for a fact, and I was only there for like a good day. I was with y'all for like a couple days for your wedding, and then I was filmed like twice. That was it. And I know for sure that this was not filmed in a year. I know for sure because this episode was supposed to come out during the summertime, but they pushed it to January because they saw that they had something. She wasn't a filler. They were starting the season off with her.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing of it is that, maybe they wanted to get multiple episodes out of her, but as soon as this episode aired and all the millions of hate comments that she received, she was done. She did not want she wanted to have no part of this anymore. And you know what? I don't blame her because like Keith had said, we had boycotted this network, this show specifically. That's just something that
we had to do
felt
at that
was
point.
necessary to do, because times where I would read comments and I wanted to just be like, how stupid are you? Like I wanted to just blab every detail I knew, and just felt like if the details that were the truth were out there, again, not that it's going to change people's mind, because I need to understand for myself that that's not going to always be the reality or the expectation that happens.
Right.
And I can't speak for other cast members. I only can share about my sister's experience and my experience. But knowing the whole story, I feel like is necessary. Like I wanted to defend my sister, protect my sister.
I'm about to say, reality shows have physical media releases.
Yeah.
So I wonder, and this is just me spitballing. I'm wondering if any of the other scrap scenes are in the are in the releases, or if they ever planned on that. Probably not.
Behind the scenes.
I mean, like, behind the scenes sounds kind of funny when it's a reality show, don't you think?
Right, exactly. It's a little fishy.
I feel like no, because I feel like once the media articles started coming out when that Gina joined the lawsuit of everybody, that people were like, well, what is she suing for? Like, she was suing for defamation of character.
Yeah.
Because that just wasn't her. For her own mental health, she dropped out of the lawsuit. She wanted nothing to do with this show, that network, anything with that title. She wanted nothing to do with it anymore. So she needed to for herself.
Yeah.
And I feel like the people that got shortchanged on this show, the cast members, their families, like, I just want them to know they probably have no idea who I am, but my heart is with you.
Yeah.
I know this is not easy, that you didn't go through something that was easy, and I can't keep it in. I respect everyone silence or whatever. I can't anymore because it's my sister and she's gone and she can't do this. So we're doing it for her.
Right.
Right.
So, guys, that feels like a natural conclusion right now. This video is getting a little bit long, so we're going to go ahead and end it here. Anyways, thank you guys for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Thank you to Kyle and Allie for joining me once again in this episode, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Peace.